Hi everyone, I'm Lily Aniva, owner of Aniva's Doll Emporium, and I'm here with Penny, and this is an entry for Ricky Star 101's giveaway for a needle felted creature. If we were to win, we would like, I think she would like a Persian cat, a white Persian cat. I think you'd like that, wouldn't you? Yeah, that'll be good. Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you how to make this cute little doll hat. So this one fits MiniFee or MSD, but you could make this pattern to fit any doll really, and I'll tell you how you can do that. So first let's have a look at the materials we need. Okay, so you are going to need some yarn. Now I used the Malabrigo lace weight yarn. This is the natural colour, which is the one that the hat was knit in. Today I'm going to be doing one in the wax seal colour. If you want to do a pom-pom, a little pom-pom maker can come in handy. One like this, or you can just use the cardboard ring method, which is fine. I'm using 2.25mm double pointed needles to do this on, but you really could use other needle sizes. It depends what sort of gauge you want to get. And then these are just extra bits and bobs, tapestry needles for weaving in the end, stitch markers and some little scissors just to help you along. Okay, so in order to get the right size for your hat, you first need to create a little swatch like this. So I just did this by doing 2 and a bit repeats of the pattern for about 20 rows, just to see how big it would come out. And then I stretch it a little bit to how much you would want it to be stretched on the doll's head. And then just measure 1 repeat of the pattern. So 1 repeat of the pattern will go from the edge of one of that bit to the next edge there. So mine is about 2.5 centimeters. And then you want to measure the circumference of your doll's head there, divide that by the number of centimeters that your pattern width is, and then you'll know how many times you need to repeat that pattern to fit the whole hat around your doll's head. So for the MiniFee size and for my gauge swatch, it might be different even if you use the same wool and the same needles as me, because I knit quite tightly, so yours could come out bigger. I needed 9 repeats of this pattern around. And each repeat of the pattern on here has 12 stitches, so 2 for the rib, 2 for the reverse stockinette in between here, 6 for the cable, 3 for each side, and then another 2 reverse stockinettes. So that's 12 stitches in total from here to here. So for this MiniFee hat I'm going to cast on 108 stitches. Okay, so now we have 108 stitches on the needle, and we're going to move the stitches so that we're working across 4 needles, and we want them to be in multiples of 12. So for 3 of the needles I'll have 24 stitches on each needle, and for the last needle I will have 36 stitches on the needle. Okay, so now we have 36, 24, 24 and 24 stitches, and we want to join here for working in the round. Okay, so now that we've joined for knitting in the round, we want to do the cuff of the hat, for which we're just going to do a basic 2x2 rib. So that's knit 2, purl 2 all the way around. Okay, so now we've finished the first row of knit 2, purl 2 all the way around. So after this you're just going to keep going in a circular motion, knit 2, purl 2 all the way around until the brim is as long as you want it. So I'll count my rows, keep going, and see you back when I've done enough. Okay, so now we've got the brim of the hat. Here I've done 11 rows of knit 2, purl 2. So you can see we've got a nice wide brim. I do mine quite wide because I like to fold it up when the hat's finished, like that. So I just do it about double the width of what you actually want your hat brim to be if you want to fold it up. If you don't want to fold it up, just do it as long as you think you should. Anything's fine. So the first row in our pattern is going to be knit 2, purl 2, knit 6, purl 2. That's knit 2, purl 2. Now we're going to knit 6. This 6 is going to be the bit that we make into the cabling. Now we're going to purl 2 again. And that's 1 repeat of the pattern. So for this hat, I'm going to do 9 repeats of that pattern. So 2 more on this needle, 2 on this needle, 2 on this needle, and 2 on this needle. Okay, so now we finished the first row. The second row is going to be exactly the same. So knit 2, purl 2, knit 6, purl 2, repeat that all the way around. So that's the second row of the pattern done. We can start to see here where we've got our 6 knit, where it changes from purl to knit, and that's going to be where our cabling is. For the third row we want to do the same thing again. So knit 2, purl 2, knit 6, purl 2, all the way around. Okay, so that's the third row done. On the fourth row we're going to start some basic cabling. So to do this, I don't use a cable needle, I use another double pointed needle. This is a 1.25mm double pointed needle. So you can use a cable needle if you want, I just don't have any, so I prefer to use this one. If you're going to use this, it's best to just use a double pointed needle that is smaller than the needles you're using on here. So to do the cabling, we're going to do knit 2, purl 2, and then we're going to cable 6 back. So that means take 3, put them on the cable needle and move them to the back, then knit 3, then knit the 3 off here, and then we're going to purl 2 again. So I'll show you how to do that. We've got our 6 knit stitches. We're going to take the needle that we're using for cabling. We're going to slip the first 3 stitches onto that needle purlwise, and then we're just going to leave that needle in the back there. You can cable forward or cable backwards, it doesn't really matter. I prefer cabling backwards because it keeps that cable needle out the way, but the white hat that I showed at the beginning was done with cable forwards. It just changes the look, like the direction of the spirals. So now we're just going to knit the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And now we're going to bring this cable needle back. So now we can see those 3 stitches we transferred to that back needle. We're just going to knit those now. So they can be a little bit tight, you might have to pull them quite tight, but they will straighten themselves out once you've knitted a couple more rounds. So 1, 2, 3. So there we can see that they're crossing over. Now we're just going to carry on with our pattern. So next we've got purl 2. And that's our 12 stitch pattern. So now we're just going to repeat that all the way around. So now we've finished row 4 and we've got our cabling begun all the way along. Row 5 is going to be the same as row 1, so knit 2, purl 2, knit 6, purl 2, all the way around. Okay, next row 6 is going to be the same again, knit 2, purl 2, knit 6, purl 2, all the way around. So now we've finished the 6th row and 1 full repeat of the pattern. Now we're just going to repeat these 6 rows over and over again till the hat is as long as you want. once you've done a few repeats of the pattern, you can start to try it on your model to see how it fits. So let's give it a try. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So here I've done 6 repeats of the pattern. Still got a little hole here where the top of her head is. So that means we're pretty safe to start decreasing the rows now to close up the top of the hat. Okay, so now we're going to start decreasing. The pattern we're going to use for this row is knit 2 together, purl 2, then we're going to use a slip knit for a left leaning decrease here. So slip 2 stitches as if to knit them, put the left needle back through the front of the loops, knit together, then knit 2, and now knit 2 together for a right leaning decrease. And finally purl 2 to finish off 12 stitches. Now repeat that all the way around. Okay, so for the next decrease row we're just going to follow the stitches round, not actually make any decreases, and that's because it will give us a more rounded top to the hat and not so much of a gathered look. So knit 1, purl 2, knit 4, and purl 2. Okay, and then repeat that all the way around. Okay, so for the third row of decreasing, we're going to start with knit 1, then we're going to purl 2 together, knit 1, then knit 2 together, knit 1, and purl 2 together. We just want to repeat that all the way around. For the fourth row of decrease, we're just going to follow the stitches round again to keep that nice round top. So we're going to start with knit 1, then purl 1, knit 3, and purl 1. Now just repeat that all the way around. So for the fifth row, we're going to knit 1, knit 2 together all the way around. So we're just going to start here with a knit 1, then knit 2 together, knit 1, knit 2 together, and just keep going all the way around. Right, we can really see the top sort of puckering up now. For the next row, row 6 of the decrease, we're just going to plain knit all the way around. Right, for row 7, we're going to knit 2 together all the way around. Row 8 of decrease, we're just going to plain knit all the way around again. Okay, so for the 9th and final row, we're going to knit 2 together all the way around. So the way I like to sew up the top is using a tapestry needle. So I'm just going to take the yarn I've got, so I just do it by threading the needle through each stitch and pulling it off. the next thing we're going to do is block the hat. So blocking just means we're going to neaten out all these stitches and get it into the shape we want. So I've got a sink full of cold water here. This is soak, it's just for washing wool and soaking it in. You don't have to use this. For the first hat I didn't use anything, but I just bought this today, so I thought I'd try it out. You just need a little bit in there. Just mix it around. Okay, and then I'm just going to take our little hat that's all finished now, turn the right way around, and we're just going to put it into the water. Completely soak it. Now don't squish it around, don't rub it between your fingers or anything, just squish all the air out. And then we're going to leave this for 15 minutes, and it usually floats back up to the top, so I usually just get a pint glass full of water and put it down on top to just hold it under the water there. So we'll come back and get that in 15 minutes. Meanwhile, we're going to make the pom-pom. Next is the pom-pom. So I'm going to use this little pom-pom maker. It just cost £1 or something. Came in a set of 4 different sizes. This is the smallest one, but it does make quite a large pom-pom considering the size of the hat. But that's okay. I think it's cute. You could trim it down if you don't want it quite that big. So the way this pom-pom maker works, now that we've fully wrapped our little pom-pom maker, we're going to start cutting through the edge here. Just nice and slowly. So it's been 15 minutes. So let's just take our little hat, just squeeze as much water out as you can. Don't rub anything between your fingers because that will felt the wool. Just give it a nice gentle squeeze. We're just going to use a towel. I'm going to fold up the brim to how I want it to be now. And I'm going to fold a towel over it and just push my weight onto it. Actually, normally I use my knee to just put my body weight onto it. So that's feeling pretty dry already. To finish blocking the hat, we just want to mould it into the shape it's going to be. So I've just measured the bottom of this glass and it's just 1 centimetre smaller than the doll's head, so I think that'll be a pretty good size for blocking it. I'm not going to push it all the way on because I don't want the top to be stretched really wide. But just a final check to make sure that that brim of the hat is nice and even, and that everything's sitting straight. And then we just want to leave it until it's completely dry. So now this has been left overnight and it's completely dry. You can take it off and it's got a nice solid shape. So now we're just going to attach the pom-pom onto the top. And our hat is done. So now let's try it on our model. All done. So now you can make your very own doll hat too.